Spoiler warning, this video does contain spoilers for Black Clover and Rising of the Shield Hero. You have been warned. Hello you lovely cubs, and welcome to a new What If series I've been thinking of. Now, today we are doing What If Naofumi had Asta's power. Now I just want to make clear that he will get Asta's grimoire with the demon as well, and the three swords. Now before we get started, I recommend that you guys join the discords if you guys like this, but anyway, let's get started. A boy named Naofumi wakes up and gets greeted by his grandmother. The little boy would look on confused, as his grandmother would always carry a weird old dust book around with her. He would ask her what it was, and she goes on to tell a tale of a boy named Asta. The two would be so invested in the story that they wouldn't realize that it was night already. Naofumi, bummed out that he has to go home, looks kinda sad, and this is when his grandmother gives him a gold necklace with these two blackish bars on it. He would fall in love with it the moment he puts it on, as he would say that he will treasure it forever. This makes his grandma smile. A few years would pass, and Naofumi, a hard-working, determined person, would always have looked up to Asta, the boy from the story his grandma told him, as he would always work out and never give up. A week after starting college, he would actually get a message which stated that his grandmother was in the hospital. He would rush out and head towards the hospital. Upon arriving, he would head to her room. He would stand next to her and would hold her hand. You see, Naofumi has a great bond with his grandma and really looks up to her for being a hard-working person all her life. And she would have been asking to see Naofumi, but she wouldn't recognize him. This would shatter Naofumi, who would go down into a spiral of depression, but he would pick himself up after finding anime. His parents would still get disgusted by him since he would turn into an otaku. His parents would end up spoiling and pushing his younger brother, and Naofumi would still help him out when his younger brother, gets into his little depression, and that way he gets his allowance. Now, because Naofumi was such a hard worker, he would now know a bit of politics and a lot of other skills that will come in useful in the future. One morning, he wakes up and decides to go to the library to read some novels. He ends up stumbling on an old book which he reads. All of a sudden, Naofumi wakes up in a magic circle and gets greeted by these priests. Him and three other voices speak at the same time. And as he looks up, he sees these three guys who are all equipped with weapons. This is when he notices his own shield. He puts two and two together, and very early on he realizes that he is alone in this. The priests invite him then to meet the king. On their way, Naofumi and the other heroes talk, and one of the priests makes note that the shield hero seems to be quite smart compared to the other heroes. Now, they arrive at the king, and the first thing Naofumi does is bow down before the king. The other heroes kind of look on confused, and the king looks on a bit shocked. The heroes would ask him what he is doing, and Naofumi says this might be another world, and we might be these legendary heroes, but royalty is still royalty, so show a bit of respect. The other heroes would kneel down, making everyone in the throne room shocked. The king quickly says that they are too kind and that they should raise their heads. Now, Motoyasu is about to make demands, but he looks at Naofumi since he thinks that Naofumi is quite knowing on these things. The three heroes look at Naofumi and Naofumi sighs. First of all, we would like an explanation, please. He says this while walking up a bit more to the king. The king, kind of baffled at Naofumi's manners and politeness, the king quickly picks himself up and starts talking. He explains that the waves are hitting their world and that they need the heroes to help quell the waves. Now, Naofumi asks the king if they will be able to return to their world once they beat all the waves, and the king answers with yes. Now, instead of the heroes making demands, Naofumi gathers them up and they quickly discuss some things. This is when Naofumi asks the king if they will get financial support from the crown. Now, the king answers with, of course, the 4 heroes will get a fair amount for their contribution. I swear on Melremark. Now, this makes Naofumi question if there are more countries besides Melremark, but he doesn't say this out loud. They think about it for a bit and then they accept. After Naofumi gave the okay, of course, they tell the heroes to open their statuses, and because they talked on their way to the king, they all know about their statuses now. Naofumi gets confused by a few things, but the king tells them that they will discuss the rest tomorrow, and that Naofumi and the other heroes should eat and rest up. They do so, and this is where stuff gets different. Naofumi and the other heroes would talk, and this leads to Ren asking how Naofumi knows so much about politics or whatever. And Naofumi answers that he studied a lot, like a lot. They also remark his strong build, after all he did train a lot. They would discuss a lot of stuff, and this reveals that they are from a parallel universe. Moriyasu decides to go to bed early, and Naofumi says that he is tired too. Moriyasu would already be asleep, but Naofumi would grab out his necklace, which would make Ren and Itsuki kinda look. He would explain to them that the necklace means a lot to him, and that he prays with it. They ask him what his connection is with the necklace, and he explains everything, that he got it from his grandma and all of that. They go to bed, and in the meantime, a priest is talking to the king, as he explains that he thinks that the shield hero might be what they need to make Melremark the strongest country, as he explains that the shield hero showed a lot of knowledge. The king dismisses this, and the priest would leave. The next day, the heroes would come into the throne room and see a bunch of adventurers, as the king explains that the heroes can't train together, since it's a violation of the legendary weapons rule. He explains that they gathered the strongest adventurers to party up with the heroes. The parties get chosen, and just like in canon, Naofumi is alone again. Unlike in canon though, Naofumi is totally fine with it. Ren does make a ruckus, and this leads with Mine wanting to join Naofumi instead of Moriyasu. Naofumi, feeling that something is up, tells her that it's fine and that she should stay with Moriyasu, and that life with him will be better than with himself. She tries to reverse that, but before she can, Naofumi says, I insist. The king decides to give Naofumi 1,000 silver coins instead of 800? No wait, 500 like the other heroes, that's what I meant. They leave and Naofumi goes to buy some equipment. He finds a shop and meets Blacksmith Sama, who we know as Arhard. He buys some good gear and decides to head out to find some party members. After spending the entire day looking though, he can't find a single person who will work, and decides to just go level up a bit outside of town. It's hard for him, but he does hit level 4 when nightfall hits, and he decides to stay at an inn. Now, if you ask me how he got to level 4 on his own, his strength from the previous world is higher, so I think that still kind of matters. So he doesn't just like 100 punch these balloon monsters. He can like, if he punches them 3 times, they like pop, and he's been doing that all day. He puts his necklace on and his armor of, he puts his necklace on and his armor in the cabinets and decides to go to bed. He wakes up to see that his entire room got plundered. He quickly goes outside to try and find the thief, but he gets taken by the guards to the throne room. He gets thrown inside of the throne room and with a worried expression asks the king for help, but before he can finish his sentence, Mine would start explaining that the shield hero took her without consent. Naofumi denies these facts, and then Moriyasu shows up wearing his necklace and armor. As Naofumi says to give his belongings back, Moriyasu denies Naofumi's demands, saying that Mine bought them for him. This pisses off Naofumi, who tells Moriyasu to give him back his necklace, since it's dear to him. At this time, both Ren and Itsuki walk in, and notice that Moriyasu is wearing Naofumi's necklace. Now Moriyasu would explain that the armor and necklace were a gift from Mine. Both Itsuki and Ren would tell Moriyasu that she is lying, since that's Naofumi's necklace, and that it means a lot to him. Ren would go even further, saying that he saw Naofumi train and wearing that exact armor. Moriyasu would be confused and say, "So wait, this 850 silver is yours? I thought that Mine gave me this as a gift." The king would ask Mine if she lied. Mine basically backed in a corner, snaps and says, "Yes," as she grabs the necklace and says, "You want it so badly? Here!" and throws it at the ground, breaking half of the gold chain, as well as one of the black bars snap off. Now Fumi, seeing this, is in a rage. All of a sudden this black energy would come off, flowing from him, as well as these flames. His shield will change into a black burning shield, and his eyes would go red as he blitzes Mine and is about to punch her for what she did. But then this book shows up, and Naofumi, seeing this, calms down, because it reminds him of a book that he long ago saw. Out of the book comes this short longsword with these stars on it. Naofumi grabs it, and his rage gets stopped, kind of. Now Naofumi would have unlocked the Curse series, but we'll go into that more later down the line. Naofumi would kick Mine, making her fall to the ground, as he would hold his sword up to her neck. Now, the heroes would question how Naofumi can hold a sword, as Mine is absolutely terrified. Everyone in the room feels kind of weak, as everyone besides the heroes fall on their knees. The heroes notice that the black energy that Naofumi is releasing is actually taking away their mana. The king bows down before Naofumi and asks him to spare her life for her crimes, and that he will see to it that she will get punished. The shield hero stops and puts away the sword, as his shield would also revert back to the small shield. He would gather up the remains of the necklace. As he would leave, he would take back his silver that Moriyasu took. He exits and he says, "I don't want to see your face ever again." He says this while looking at Mine. He leaves and goes to a jewelry, and they are able to fix the gold chain, but they can't reattach the black material, since they don't know how it's attached and they don't know what it is. Now Fumi decides to absorb it into his shield, and this actually gives him quite the power buff, but if you want to know what happens next, you'll have to wait for part 2. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this new what if. Now before I end the video, I just wanted to say that this is a what if I've been thinking of doing, and I just wanted to release this tiny video to get your guys' opinion of it, and you'll be able to vote for it. But there's this thing going around in the what if community where some what ifs get like really dark and stuff like that, even though there's no reason to do so, right? Like there's no absolute reason why he has to like go dark and like kill everyone. Now I feel like I'm kind of like getting in there too. Like I'm having some very dark what ifs, like where he goes into a rage and you know all that stuff. But it's Rising of the Shield Hero, and that series is already kind of dark. I mean, literally the first episode, the guy gets framed for doing you know what. So I want to keep that aspect in these videos, since I think it's only fitting, since they do hate him, and it's gonna basically always happen unless he somehow manages to like leave and go to like another country. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have it like that, and I'm gonna, how can I explain this? I'm gonna like, if a what if gets dark, like I'll try to make what ifs not dark, because I see some people are complaining about that, but you know, I can't always not do that. Some series are just dark and they have to stay dark, otherwise it's not gonna click well. Well, I don't really like release videos unless I'm satisfied with them, and you know, if they're too dark, then I won't release them because I don't like too dark. That's why I stopped watching a lot of what ifers, because they got to that dark side. But yeah, oof. And anyway, this is just an experiment what if, so if you guys want more of this, then go into the Discord and vote for it. I'm now having this series will probably now be part of the how do you say that? So I'm thinking of making, instead of Thursday for the Luffy what if, I'll be doing what do you call it? I'll be doing Wednesday, and then I'll be doing on Friday. I'll be doing either this what if or another one of my new what ifs, which tomorrow will drop a new what if, and then on Sunday will be the Demon Slayer what if. So you'll have 4 what ifs a week, and then in between can be like gaming content, you know, all that stuff, or specials. Now the Demon Slayer what if will be on Saturday this week, because Sunday will be the 250 sub special, which still thank you guys for that. I know we're a bit late on that, but it's gonna get done. And if you want to vote for this what if, then I would recommend that you join the Discord, because I asked for a like goal on some series, and if that like goal's hit, then I'll put it in the weekly voting system. But you have to join Discord and vote for it. Every Saturday we vote. That means that yeah, every Saturday we vote, and on Sunday it ends. So I'll see you guys in the next video, which is tomorrow. And with that out of the way, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and goodbye.
Subscribe for more!